All right, what is up, everybody, and welcome to the channel. So, this is something that I've been trying to do for a while, just, haven't really had the time nor energy to do it. And I figured, might as well just make the time for it. So, 8 weeks out from our first show, which is going to be Florida Pro. If you guys can't tell with my face, I am definitely dieting. So this has been something that we've been working towards for a while now. Hit a new low this morning of 188.1. So I'm assuming that my height cap is going to be like 5'7" to 5'8", because my entire NPC career, they always hide me around like 5'7" 3/4. So just under the 5'8". But this last show that I did 2 years ago at Atlantic Coast, when they started implementing the height and weight for the IFBB men's physique, they heighted me at 5'8" 1/4. So I don't know how true that is. So aiming for the one under until we get a permanent height. You have to have 3 consecutive shows that are tracked by, and I think it's an Olympia judge has to be there. And then they take the average of those heights, and then that's your permanent height. So I figured that, I might as well just start recording and just see where this goes. This is a great way for me to just document my process and something to look back for when the time does come that I retire or whatever it is, or, wherever this goes, something for me to look back at to really see like my achievements throughout life. But yeah, so we're gonna do a full day of eating. It's a little bit simpler. Today is a rest day for me, so it's not really exciting. I have a bunch of client check-ins to do. I have a bunch of people that are in prep. I have one person that is 2 weeks out, or just under 2 weeks out from USA's here. So just making sure that everybody's getting the attention that they need within coaching and things like that as well. So I figured this would probably be a super easy video. It wouldn't be super long, so you guys aren't sitting here forever watching me do whatever it is that I do. But yeah, so let's get into it. So meal one, it is about 8:30. I went on a mile walk this morning. I probably got about maybe another 3 of those, but spread out throughout the day, making sure that I hit 10,000 steps. Today is a rest day, higher food. So, there's a little bit of difference that's going on there. Some people have lower food on rest days. I have higher food on rest days, just because my caloric expenditure on training days is a little bit higher because I have cardio on those days, 10,000 steps and training, and then also lower days. So increasing the deficit a little bit more. And then these days are just meant to kind of like pull back out of the hole, give me a little bit more glycogen, a little bit more energy and things like that. So carb cycle approach there. What we have today, I don't know, you guys can't really see much. This is 180 grams of jasmine rice, 3 whole eggs, and then 50 grams of bell pepper. So I saute the bell pepper and then throw it on top of my rice. And then everything has a 1/4 teaspoon of pink salt on it today. And then just black pepper, nothing super crazy. And then we have 150 grams of strawberries. I am so far a liter of water in already with like my morning digestive shake type deal. Is literally just fiber, glutamine, and then Project 80 Good Morning, which is like, you see a lot of people put like apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, aloe vera juice, like this all has it in one. So it makes it super simple. You don't have to have 50 different things out on the counter, condensed space. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this in, and I will see you for the next meal. All right, guys, what is up? It is time for meal 2. It is now 11:38. I just went on another mile walk, trying to get it in before it gets too hot. I'm currently halfway through my steps. Once it does get too hot, usually about like 95 plus, I'll finish my steps on the walk pad. But I try to get outside as much as possible, just get some sun. Obviously I need it. I'm very, very white. I'll take the dog on a walk, or one of the dogs, because we have 4, but 3 of them that can actually go on walks. I try to take them, or one of them at least, in the morning, just because the area we live in isn't always the best. We live in a downtown area where it's very high transient population and traffic area. And I just don't really appreciate a lot of weird people coming up and trying to pet my dog.
Can I pet that dog?
No, no, no.
Can I pet that dog?
Yeah.
No.
Can I pet that dog?
No, he's
Can I
sleeping.
pet that dog?
But meal 2. Again, today is a moderate day, so a little bit more food. Got done with some client check-ins. I think I got about another 2 to 3 more. And then just obviously as they trickle in through the rest of the day, I kind of allow anybody to check in if they're not in prep Sunday through Monday, and I'll get to the check-ins as they come in. So that way I'm not just sitting at the computer the entire time, just waiting. It makes my life a little bit easier. Obviously, I have a life, so being able to train, do my cardio, do all these different things that I need to be doing makes it a lot easier than just spending more time with Brooke and stuff like that. So meal 2 is, I don't know if you guys can see, it is 180 grams of jasmine rice, 50 grams of green beans, and 196 grams of chicken breast. I put a little bit of mustard on the top just for some flavor. Seasoning I'm using right now is the Kinder's, the blend. So it's got like garlic and like all this other stuff. If I do have any kind of digestive problems, if I start getting a bloat or gas or anything like that, that's gonna be the first thing that I pull. Just because like garlic powder, anything with garlic or onion can cause a lot of issues within digestion. Sorry, I'm obviously like prep brain right now, so bear with me guys as I stumble through my words. But they cause a lot of digestive problems, or they can, like gastric problems and things like that. So if it is something that does become an issue, it's gonna be the first thing to pull. And then from there, we just do elimination. Like, is it something that's fermenting? You know, like what's your source of vegetables, fruits, things like that. Any other sauces, seasonings, things that we have to kind of look at and adjust accordingly as well. So finishing up my 2nd liter here, I try to get in half a liter in between each meal and then half a liter with meals. And just space it out pretty evenly, so it gives me about 5 liters a day, if not a little bit more. Usually on training days, I'll get in an extra liter. So 6 liters on training days, 5 liters on non-training days. Just makes life a lot easier, and it's more or less baselined. So that way when we do go into peak and stuff like that, we know exactly how much water we need or things like that. So same with sodium. Everything has a 1/4 teaspoon pink salt on it, so keeping sodium consistent as well. As I get closer to the show, I pull condiments and things like that personally. 2 weeks out for clients, I try to have them pull all condiments and seasonings and things like that so we can baseline their sodium. Again, just makes all the variables a little bit easier. Control what we can control. You know, we can control how we load, we can control how we train, we can control how we feel. The one thing we can't control is who shows up, but we can show up our best. So it's something that I try to hit on with every client who competes, even myself. You know, I have moments of weakness and stuff like that where I think like, oh, I'm not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. And that's what this entire last 2 years has been, is just me telling myself that I'm not good enough. And so me really doing this prep and doing the shows that I have lined up this year is really just to prove to myself that I do belong up there. Regardless if I'm not going to be the biggest guy, and I'm okay with that, but I will control my conditioning, I will control my presentation, and I will control what I can leading into the show. So with that being said, I'm going to get meal 2 in. I'm starving. I'm ready for a little bit extra food here. And I will see you guys for meal 3. Hi guys, so it is time for meal 3. It is now 2:30, so you can see here. Try to space these meals out as much as possible. Hunger is definitely kicking in now. So with that being said, to get through this meal, we have 100 grams of blueberries. And then we have here, this is 70 grams of cream of rice, 16 grams of almond butter, and then I have a scoop and a half or a serving and a half of whey isolate. I'm using the farm-fed vanilla milkshake. I tried to make whey drip, but I used too much water because I was in too much of a hurry. So take your time when preparing your foods and stuff like that. and then obviously a 1/4 teaspoon of pink salt with this meal as well. I have finished meal 3 or liter 3. I've got about 2 more there, and then 2 more meals as well. So finished up with all client check-ins. I did a little bit of educational stuff, and then got in another mile. So I'm now sitting at about 7,000 steps. Got about 3,000 more to go until we hit our step goal for the day. So that'll be finished probably before the last meal. I might save some till after, just to kind of get maybe like a 10-minute walk or something in as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna get this in, and I will see you guys for the... All right guys, so it's a little past 5:30, so it's almost 6 o'clock. It got wrapped up in a lecture that I was watching. Again, continue learning. If you're a coach, if you want to be a product of this sport, if you want to do anything productive with what you're trying to do, no matter what it is, continue learning. There's so much information out there, no matter what field you're trying to get into, that you should never be bored, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna get this meal in. It's pretty simple. I got my 1/2 liter of water here. This will be liter 4 finished. This is very similar to my last meal. There's no berries in it, and then also no added fats, so no almond butter. This is 70 grams of cream of rice. I'm using the Elevate blueberry muffin, and then I have a Better Way drip of the Axe and Sledge vanilla milkshake. Really good combo. And then I have obviously my salt in there, keeping salt a consistent. But yeah, these are probably my favorite meals just because they're so delicious. They're sweet. You know, they help curb any kind of sweet cravings and things like that. Obviously, you know, I love my cookies. I love pastries. I love things like that. But this is something that kind of gets me through. You know, with the hunger hitting so hard, so far out, 8 weeks out, this is the tightest, leanest, most shredded I've ever been this far out from a show. I did order some Peptides. I'm gonna see if we can use that just to kind of help with any kind of hunger or anything like that. I know it's not gonna be anything crazy. It is a product that I use with certain clients. You know, honestly, semi-glutide does a much better job of crushing your appetite, but I don't want my appetite completely crushed, especially on these high days and stuff like that, where I'm eating 600 grams of carbs. Whereas today, I think I'll have like 300 something. I don't know. I'll put my macros up there at the end of the video. But yeah, we'll see if that helps. See if my coach is cool with me, you know, using it. If not, it's not that big of a deal. It's just part of the suck, part of the suffer. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna get this in. I'm gonna finish a lecture, chill out for a bit, and yeah, guys, I'll see you for the last meal. All right, what is up, guys? It is about 9 o'clock, so time for meal 5. Pretty simple. It's literally identical to my second meal today. 180 grams of jasmine rice, 196 grams of chicken breast, and then 50 grams of green beans. Again, same thing on top, just a 1/4 teaspoon pink salt and a little bit of mustard for flavor. Nothing super crazy. Try to keep it basic. But yeah, so I'm gonna finish that, and then it's pretty much it for the rest of my day. Just gonna be chilling out and then get to bed at a pretty decent time. So I'll go ahead and throw up the macros here so you guys can see what I'm eating. I'm on a moderate day, right? So I have high, moderate, and low days right now, cycling those through every few days. So train days are low. First rest day is a moderate day. Second rest day is a high day. So pretty cool rotation. It's moving. Again, weight's always changing. So saw some new lows today, 188.1. So we'll see how much lower we can get until showtime. Again, sitting just under 8 weeks out. So kind of excited to see where this goes. But yeah, we'll just see. So thanks, guys.